Okay, welcome back. We just finished up this Explore Your File section. So we made these nice graphs and charts here with Claude Chat's help. And so now we're going to build a web viewer app, so an application that lives inside of the web viewer. We've still got our FileMaker file open. We were connected to the MCP server. And first thing we have to do is switch to code mode. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to use ask permissions so you can see how that happens. Accept edits is good. I don't actually like auto mode for Claude. I would recommend not using it. It kind of, I don't know, it kind of feels unpredictable to me as to what it actually auto accepts and what it doesn't. So I like either ask permissions or accept all edits. I'm going to leave accept permissions, ask permission here for everything it does for the demo. Next thing we have to do is you have to pick a folder. Whoops. I need to go to the desktop here and just pick this ProofKit. There we go. We've got a ProofKit folder here. And we need this folder because we're actually making a full web app. So that folder is on my desktop and it's currently sitting here empty. And we have to give Claude the ability to work within that folder. And so that's what we've done here. And then what I'm going to do is go back to the docs, switch over to the next step here, and we're going to just copy the prompt and paste it in. And because we're doing a demo, I'm going to give it a couple of extra instructions. Take it all the way to get the dev server set up and the preview browser launched. Try that again. Take it all the way to get the dev server launched and have it show up in the preview browser. So I'm using a voice-to-text tool. I'm using Super Whisper there to make it easier than typing, right? Which is pretty good. So what's going to ask us to trust this workspace because you want to make sure that that's a folder you want to give Claude access to. So we do, and we're just going to let it go. We're going to let it cook here. So what it should do at this point is check to see if there's any files open, and it's going to look up some documentation, and I'm going to say always allow here, and always allow, and file mix connected. There we go. Beautiful. It's just picking up tools, and I'm just hitting allow as it goes along. Now it's going to run this scaffolding stop part, and let's just see. We'll keep clicking OK as it runs through all this. I'm using Sonnet 4.6 here, which is pretty good. If something goes awry, you maybe start over and do Opus 4.6 or 4.7, which are better, and it might give you correct itself faster. But Sonnet 4.6 is pretty good. So you can see it's installed a bunch of folders in our folder here that was empty, and that's what it's doing. So it's running that scaffold. Scaffold done. Now installing some skills so that it's a little better at knowing what to do. Okay, it's listed available skills. Good. All right. Now it's going to do some TypeGen. So what is TypeGen? Type is type generation. So we use TypeScript as our default here. And TypeScript is really helpful for agents because it's a typed version of JavaScript. And what it protects against is if you are setting a value to a variable or to a property and it's supposed to be a string and you set a number or an array, you can't do that. Like it'll fail before it even compiles the code. So that's kind of part of what you have to do for these AI agents is use languages and tools that help them correct themselves. So if it makes a mistake, it's going to see that mistake it's going to run typecheck. The typecheck's going to fail. It's going to get really good error messages. It's going to continue. So it's going to open up the preview for us here, I think. There it goes. Okay, so it's just continuing to It's checking itself to see what's going on. This page is empty, which is a bit odd. It should have some default data on it. I'm not sure what's happened there. Let's see. Ah, it switched to a different port. So it's fixing itself, which is kind of cool. So there's something already on 5175, probably an earlier version of something that I did. So let's go ahead and just let it fix itself. This is kind of the great thing about it. Like, it actually knows how to fix itself. So it's figured out, and there it's relaunching the web browser, and there we go. Now we've got our nice scaffold. So this is working pretty well. Great. Did the whole thing. Sonnet 4.6, no problem. So it's going to check and see like what's in this file, and probably suggest some views that we could create for our demo app here. Yeah, so customer list with contact details, sales analytics, invoice browser. Let's just pick option 1. So let me say, let's go with option 1, and let's make the customer list searchable. And let's also make it the default homepage. So right now the scaffold set up a starter and a query demo. You can leave the query demo page, but replace starter with our new customers view. Okay. So it set up a multi-page app here for us because that's what we told it to do. And it's going to, when I hit OK here, it's going to replace this starter page with our customer list. So let's let that go. So it is looking at the layouts in the file and noting what fields and tables are in there, and it's generating a type-safe client, JavaScript or TypeScript client in this case, that the web app can use to query the FileMaker database. So it's generated a client here, and you just got to let them cook as they figure out all the things they need to do. And you know, sometimes it'll make a mistake, and you can give it a second, and it may correct itself. Usually, I've run this particular demo, I don't know, many times, and it succeeds all the way to the end most of the time. Occasionally, I've had to like really nudge it back on track, but usually it just gets right through. And so it's building a customers page, and eventually we should see it probably pop up over here and replace starter. One thing to note is if you're clicking around while this thing is going, you might be interfering with this, because let me just close that. We don't need it. The chat, the agent can use this browser. Yeah, there it goes. So it's moved it around, and oh look, it's made master detail as the view that it's going to do. It's running typecheck. Apparently we have to do, so I didn't give it a lot of instruction here, but it wants me to type in some characters, I think, before we do a search. I'll let it finish before I do anything, because it may still be finding. Yeah, so it found a return type error, so I need to fix the return type from list all. So that's, it found an error, and it's fixing that. And it found another mistake that it made, and it's fixing that. And there we go. So it's got our list in here, and it's going to check to see if there's any more errors. So I'll let it do that. And just to show that this is really the file, here's our data here. Here's our data here, so we can see it's the same data. It's still chugging away, so we'll just let it keep going. No TypeScript errors. Let me take a screenshot. So it's gonna screenshot. That's pretty good. Let's see if it tries to do a search. Sometimes it'll actually, yeah, there it goes. It clicked on a record to make sure that the detail worked. And that's pretty good. So I'm going to tell it to, just for fun, can you test the search function? Just to see it operate. Should start typing some characters in here. Yeah, there it goes. Pretty great. Taking a screenshot to make sure it did it right. Search is working perfectly. So before we end this particular video, I just want to point out something that's pretty cool. Is this web viewer here? This is an embedded web viewer inside of Claude, and one of the things that ProofKit does is it makes this embedded web viewer think it's running inside of FileMaker. And so again, the same access that whatever privilege sets I have access to here, because I've opened this file with whatever username and password, is the same privilege sets that Claude has, right? So that's really nice, because now I can do I can tell it to test its own code and to make sure that it's actually completed the task, which it has. So that is setting up our ProofKit app. Now your source code is in this folder, and this you're going to want to put somewhere. This is now the source that you're always going to use whenever you want to make updates to your app. Many people would just put this in GitHub and use Git to do version control, but you could just put it in Dropbox or anywhere else and just keep it and don't lose it, because that is your source code. All right. In the next module, in the next video, we will move this code into FileMaker. Thanks very much.